Welcome to the channel and our continuing playthrough of Atlantic Chase. This is the Decision at Sea scenario. This will be part 4 for this video series. And thanks for joining us. And last when we left off, the story so far is this is a scenario that will end when I am able to complete 3 convoys. You can only see 2 here. I can bring another one in later. And the Germans are trying to hunt us down and stop us. And if battleships of theirs come out, I do need to sink them, because if I leave them out when the game ends, that will deduct from me, and that has happened. We have an unidentified task force here, but we have the Scharnhorst and the Gneisenau here. And they'll knock 8 points off my score, which is a lot if I leave them unscathed. So yeah, last we left, it was my initiative, and so it is my go. The weather is good. And the first thing I think I want to do is I'm going to complete this guy. And the reason I want to complete this convoy is, like I said, it takes 3 convoys to end the game. So I want to get one out of the way so that I can kind of control the pace, because that's what's going to happen is I'm going to try to score my points as best as I can, and then end the game. I don't want to be stuck with trying to complete 3 convoys while there's Germans all running around knocking points off me. So that's going to be my first move, is we're going to try to bring this convoy. Came from Halifax, and it's trying to make it to Clyde, Liverpool. So when we attempt, and it's always usually good to attempt to complete when you first get the initiative, because the other side gets to try to seize the initiative. And if it's your very first move, you won't have any modifiers to it, so he has to roll flat, and he has to roll a 9. So, completing. And unfortunately, he seizes the initiative. Well, isn't that just the way? Now, the thing about a failed completion attempt, you still do the time lapse for it. So that will bring 2 off here. And the initiative turns to the Germans, who will roll for weather. And the weather will remain good. And now we must see what they will do. Again, a +1 to the die, because no convoys have been completed. And so this is going to be a 3. This is an interception attempt. If it limits me to the Germans to 3, generally to 3 task forces at any one time. We only have 2. And if that's the case, then we are going to basically try to bring to battle the nearest convoy with the nearest German task force to the nearest British task force. That is this, and that is that. Actually, not quite. The AI rules direct me to avoid intel markers, and if I was to trajectory there, I would gain an intel marker. But this guy is free and clear to come right here and perform a naval search. That's what he's going to do. So, there. And let's go to the table. He will search. There's 14 trajectory segments all told. He will roll in this column. Oh, and he rolls a... Wow, he thumped it. Okay, 12. His contact and a station. Man, he really did well there. Okay. So, we just went from this to this. It turns out my this convoy here had an evasive maneuvers marker, which I could have used to knock him down 1, which would have been a trail. I forgot what that's called. What is that called? Okay, shadowing result, which would have been a little less traumatic, but it would have still been the contact marker, so it wouldn't have totally done everything we wanted it to. That's okay. Usually my policy is basically you have to call it before you roll the dice, and you can't be like, okay, here's my... Okay, so we're going to do that. Anyway, Germans did that very well, and of course they will also time-lapse. And it's an unidentified, so it's automatically 2. And now I have a chance to seize the initiative, and here's where I can use my evasive if I want, I think. Now I'll spend my evasive maneuvers marker to add 1 to my initiative die roll. Seize initiative. Here we go. 7, 8, not quite. Okay, well, as you know, our tally marker goes up 1. We'll flip it to the British. I get +1 on my next one. Burned up my evasive maneuvers marker. Oh well. So the Germans continue to rampage. What will they do? Add +1 to this. A 5. The 5 directs us to use the Germans to use the battle cruisers to try to bring the convoy to battle. And this is the moment we've been dreading, because he will take an intel marker. There's no avoiding it, but since that's the directive, we're just gonna have to eat it, or the Germans are gonna have to eat it. So let's get this set up like so. That generated 2 intel markers, which is a pain in the patootie for them, and they are going to attempt to engage us. But the good news is we get an interrupt roll with 2 intel markers in the 2 column. And this would be a good time for the British to roll well. 6 is probably not that good. It's a -2, not bad. But... okay, now I gotta figure out how to do these Germans with coordination and everything. It's gonna take me a little thinking. Let's see here. Well, the AI directs us to coordinate because we can coordinate, even though it does cause some... it's not quite as good a column shift, but we'll go ahead and do it. It will allow them both to time lapse, which is a good thing. So I think that's really what they're going for here. So let's get the engage action going. Bunch of modifiers here. Since we're using the coordinating task force, that the unidentified one, 1, 2, 3, 4, it has 5 trajectories in it, so that pops them up here. Not so good. However, and they got a contact marker on my convoy, which is +4 for very slow. But we do have -2 from that interruption roll, so it's going to be a +2 total to this roll here for the Germans. Let's see what they get. 7, 8, 9. 9 will be a miss. Woo, thank goodness. They will get to time lapse, and here is the benefit of using, one of the benefits of using a longer a coordinated task force. Even though it is longer and adds to your column, or shifts your column, you get to time lapse it. And you get to time lapse this one, and he will invoke the intel limit, which will allow him to take, hold on one sec. Oops, I had to double check that rule. No, you can only ever, when doing intel limit, take 1 intel marker off. So we would take this off, and that would be the German move. It is time for my chance to seize the initiative, which I definitely want to do. We have a +1 to this roll. Oh, wait a minute. I do have another evasive marker on that from that other convoy. And the thing about initiative rolls is you can use them if you have them. And I say go ahead and spend them, so I'm going to go +2 on this roll. And there we go. We have seized the initiative back from the Germans. Okay, so let us check the weather. It is remaining good. Now, what to do, what to do. I think, okay, hang on. I definitely need to extend my convoy because I am running into the rationing rule. I will have only 3 trajectories there. I'm going to start losing points. So I definitely need to do a trajectory move. And we'll go ahead and extend him out as my, here we are, all the way to Gibraltar. As we have a contact marker on here, because the contact marker will stay on that trajectory, making it easier for them to hunt us down. But we have 6 to Gibraltar here. This would probably be a good time to, instead of completing that one up there, I think I want to complete this one here and let it escape. So we have a big roll coming up here for the Germans. We're going to try to seize the initiative. No modifiers. Ah, they did not do it. And a contact marker will not prevent a completion, only an intel marker. If it was an intel marker, I couldn't do that. So, oh, thanks. Killed the... All right, we have completed one convoy of 3 to finish the game. And we'll go ahead and make a record of that so I'm not confused later when we score. Now we're in a little dilemma because this trajectory is 3 or less. Which means that I will run into the rationing rule when the Germans take the initiative and I would lose a victory point. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and extend this trajectory. And we'll do it down here. It'll be an airstrike range. So I don't think he'll be coming from us that way. We can still do our completion action anyway. Like now, to help us out though, this is a good time to bring in that other convoy. So to bring this other convoy in, it's a 50-50 shot. So 2 to 6 brings 7 to thing, 7 to 12. We lose, and let's do it. Nope. 6. Okay. Well. Unfortunately. So we failed that reinforcement, but there's a little rule I did not realize until it just happened. One task force gets to time lapse. Isn't that cool? And guess which one's going to do that? That'll be our guy right here, and he's going to invoke the intel limit. And now we're going to have a lot easier time reorganizing and fighting, I think. So a little bit of sunshine out of that failed attempt. That is, and then we pass on to the Germans, who will roll for the weather. It will stay good. We have plenty of convoy trajectory, so we do not run afoul of the score rationing rule. Okay, that will be it. Join us next time as things are heating up in the North Atlantic. We've completed one. Let's see what happens next time, and thanks for watching.